At one point I thought this is after smoking a joint and having some vodka. I was like, I know how the universe came to be. I forgot.
15.
Yeah. I forgot the next morning. It was really awesome.
Write this stuff down. Because the next year you're like, I'm pretty sure I had a completely new experience and I figured out life.
I knew it. And if I could just have my friend who was high with me remember too.
Welcome to Recovery Cast, where we share real and authentic stories about mental health and addiction recovery and the journeys that led us here. I am your host, Brittany Baynard, and today we are joined by Kevin Kreider. Thank you so much for coming in today.
My pleasure, Brittany.
Yes. Kevin is an actor, producer, and TV personality. You will know him from Bling Empire, also The Traders. But behind cameras, Kevin's story is one of resilience. Born in Seoul and adopted into a German-Irish family in Philadelphia, he grew up wrestling with identity and stereotypes and belonging. After struggles with depression, anxiety, alcoholism, and even sudden loss of his own hair from alopecia, Kevin chose sobriety in 2015 and rebuilt his life through recovery, therapy, and purpose. Today, he uses his platform to advocate for mental health, challenge stereotypes, and show that recovery can open the door to a more authentic and grounded life. Kevin, welcome to the podcast.
Pleasure to be here. First time in Wisconsin.
I know. Really happy to have you here. I feel like everybody always says that. They're like, I've never been here. Have you ever thought about coming to Wisconsin?
No,
there's no reason to. But like now that you're here, it's super cute, right?
Yeah.
You flew over a little bit. There's some lights.
It's true. Like actually, I was stopped at a local bar.
Yeah.
Ironic that we're talking about a local bar.
They're just everywhere. Yeah.
But it's the home base that I kind of missed.
Yeah.
And I remember like growing up and going to a local bar and just seeing people that I knew or going with a friend and just shooting the breeze with anybody.
This is that atmosphere.
Well, yeah, but that's why I was like, wow, this brings me back so much nostalgia.
Aww.
It was just so crazy. I mean, I didn't want to go back in there and get like hammered or anything, but it was just like, I like that feeling of, hey, what are you doing on a Friday night?
A homey place.
Go.
Yeah.
And see what's around.
Yep. But yeah, it's just where you get your pizza and you sit there and eat for a while. You see like families and stuff come in that y'all know. Yeah.
We had Pitcher's Pub.
We have one of those too.
50 cent
probably different.
Pitchers or something like that. It was like, but it was pretty gross.
Nobody ever cleaned the tap lines or anything. Yeah. Okay. Before we dive in, what are you hoping someone might take away from your story?
For this story, I hope that people see being sober and in recovery more like a secret code to like life.
Yes.
I think that recovery, sobriety has so much self-help wisdom from, I would say if you do 12 steps, then it's wisdom from past religion and the way they did things to get a spiritual experience, that you get closer to your higher power, to get closer to people. It is a secret code to life.
I love the way you explain that too, because I've never heard someone say that. But the second you said it, I was like, that's so true. And you described like the growth, the changes, like the connection to a spiritual self. And the opposite of that in that state of addiction is that like stagnant, I'm not going anywhere. I feel like this inside. But on the other side of that is like eternal growth. There's always something beautiful, something new, something that you couldn't even imagine for yourself on the other side of that.
Totally. I mean, there's only so much alcohol and drugs you can do to fill yourself up.
Right.
But with like a spiritual growth, like it's endless.
I'd love to take it back to your childhood. Tell us what it was like growing up as a Korean adoptee in Philadelphia to a German-Irish Catholic family.
Yeah, well, my first 3 years was kind of a blank. Actually, it was a total blank. I just remember coming off the plane, getting into my dad's arms and just knowing that this was going to be my family.
Really?
Which is kind of weird because my family and my adoption origins is like just being passed around my birth family and then to this doorstep and then all of a sudden into a adoption center and then taking a year or so to get adopted. And, there was another boy who was 3 years old that my parents wanted to adopt. And then that fell through.
Wow.
And so that's where it's like when a lot of adoptees have a hard time. And by the way, there's a lot of alcoholism and divorce in adoptee world. And when I hear a lot of adoptees say, like, they just wish they weren't adopted. I don't know why, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that is like ridiculous. Like, even if you're life was pretty crappy here. Could you imagine what it was going to be like in Korea with no education, being just like not adopted? Like it's pretty bad over there.
Yeah. And I'd have to imagine the people making that decision are making it based on something.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of it was based in Korea. It was based off of like shame. So like if you're married and you get a divorce and you have a kid, in Korean culture, it's like you're probably not going to get married again. Or even dating, right? So it's based off of shame, which is the worst part. So I think a lot of people bring that shame on them. But where I look into my life, I see that it's a miracle I was there.
Yeah.
It's like, I think we have too many delusions of grandeur of like, oh, I was going to be a K-pop star. No, you weren't. You were going to be probably working the fields
the same person you
like
are here.
Serving 50 cent whatever's on the street. Like there was no jobs for you, you know? And so I seriously see it as such a miracle to begin with, which is ironic because then obviously I got into alcoholism and everything, but that's because I was brought into a world where I was the only person that really was from this world of Korean, that I look Korean, and then I was also American. So it's like, which one do I really fit in? Because I wasn't treated like an American, but I also wasn't treated like I was Korean.
Yeah, it's a really weird gray spot for people.
Exactly. I actually stopped kind of like recently saying like I wasn't treated white, you know, but it's like, no, I wanted to be treated like I was from here.
That is it. That is it. I want to be treated like it's when I walk in a room, it's not the first thing you're seeing. I don't want it to be like, I don't see color, because I want you to see it. And I want you to see it as something interesting and beautiful that like, I'm so excited to get to know this other person.
Yeah.
But to be a kid growing up and feeling othered in that way is extremely tough to deal with.
Yeah. And actually it's like weird. It's like, so kids are really blunt and very obvious that like, you're not from here, right?
Yeah.
But like I look at social media influencers now and all that crap that's out there, and I'm like, oh, they're just really like kids are just evil. I mean, there's leave a device to give kids any like platform to say whatever they want, and it is just bad stuff coming out of
I'm so grateful I did not have the ability to just shoot off my thoughts as a teenager because they weren't great.
They weren't great.
And I thought I had a hot take on stuff.
They weren't articulated. Ooh. The opinions aren't original. They're mean. They're ill-spirited. They're hypocritical.
They usually lack thinking about what the other person's going through,
right? And
which is how it's always like the kid struggling who gets picked on the most. You're like, why would you target someone who's already struggling?
Yeah. That goes back to growing up. It's like literally in my house, it was like, oh, there is no real color because I don't see you as anything else, but the outside world did.
Yeah.
So it was kind of this like,
help when, yeah.
And then I would say like, oh man, I just, you know, I would tell my mom like, man, am I attractive enough? Am I everything enough? And, you know, she would just tell me you're going through an awkward stage. It's like, it's not because you're Asian. It's not because, it's just like girls, you know, oh, she's cute. Like maybe you just need to become more confident and all that stuff. And, you know, a lot of the stuff she said was somewhat true, right? But when I really did look at it, like there was this gnawing thing at me that I was like, no, I'm not treated the same.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
And we need to be told we're not wrong.
I mean, it's like you look at all these movies and like the best athlete on the football team gets the girls. Well, I was the best athlete on the football team. I didn't get any girls. So it was like, there was something really weird about like, having it all, but not having it all. And it was like very odd to me. It was, and so I carried that with me for a little bit, which is, if I had somebody to probably talk to, I might have been able to like, or mentor. It's like, oh no, like it would have been great if somebody really told me through experience saying like, hey, what's making you different is going to actually make you stand out later.
Yes.
And be useful and like be great. So don't carry this BS with you, right? Because there was a lot of BS I was carrying around. Like I'm probably positive I ruined a lot of good relationship because of like some resentment that was built up, which is what led me to drinking and all that stuff. Cycles, right? And then the outward world just was like not really nice. It was really cruel and in like weird ways. Like it was so micro too. It wasn't like macro as in like somebody was beating me up.
Right. Somebody might yell something and say something that might be like the macro, but like it's micro because a lot of things are systemic.
Right. Yeah. Or like I'm walking down the street and they just put a shoulder into me, you know?
Or just don't move altogether.
Yeah. Or it was just a lot of different little aggressions, right?
Yes. Yeah. How did your early experience with bullying and the stereotypes about Asian masculinity affect you?
Yeah, and I didn't even know what Asian masculinity was back then.
There's no word. Yeah, there's not words for it.
At the time. And I just looked at Asians because of the way I was treated, the community treated me, and the way community mocked Asians as like, okay, Asians aren't cool. Even though we had Bruce Lee. And yeah, I know. But by the way, like, it's weird because Bruce Lee was our only role model at the time, but yet everybody mocked him because it was like the weird sounds he made. And it was just like people, he was
low hanging fruit.
Right. And so like, I knew there was definitely a disrespect that people had for Asians because if media really affected people's mindsets, they would be afraid to actually mock us. Right. They're like, didn't you see Bruce Lee beats everybody up?
Yeah, you should be afraid.
You should be afraid. But no, instead they mocked us.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, okay, Asians are definitely disrespected everywhere. And it makes you not want to be Asian.
Yeah, I felt the same way about being Black. I was like, being called pretty for a Black girl made me feel like shit. So I wanted to not associate myself with that.
And sometimes like I went the other way. It's like, no, okay, I'm going to stand out.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the Asian guy that's like, you know, ripped, jacked, get the girls, can drink any Irishman down, you know. And by the way, that happened. Like I was really great at drinking at the time. Yeah. Well, as in volume. I wasn't a good person when I was drinking.
That's putting them down.
That's a different
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I wasn't a good drunk, actually. And so I did everything I could to stand out more. Yeah. And it worked for a little bit until it stopped working.
Do you feel like it was to stand out? And like, it sounds like in a way for acceptance.
It was really acceptance. It was belonging. I wanted to belong. But when you try to belong, that's when you actually stop belonging.
Right. Because you change everything about yourself to fit in with something that you probably normally...
Exactly.
I'll take anything at this point.
And it's odd because like, I felt like, oh, maybe the Asians are right. Like I shouldn't want to have this really nice chiseled body because it was like considered Western. And then they'll look at everybody like in Korea is trying. It's like, no, it's crazy to me. You know, it's like, but what I realized is that was their insecurity because they couldn't have it. So it's like, you always are the first person to tell someone you shouldn't have this when you think you can't have it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like rich people. Like, you shouldn't be rich. Well, it's because you don't believe you could do it.
Yeah.
So I heard that from so much of the Asian community that it's like, I wanted to belong to the Asian community now, right? To be real, I had more confidence actually when I was in the white community. Because the white community, like at least the one that I grew up with, didn't have this baggage. If anything, they were helping me through it. They're like, hey, look, we're not denying race doesn't happen, but like the more you give into it, the more it's going to take over. Why don't you use it for good? You know, like they were giving me really positive things.
Yeah.
But the more I got into the Asian community growing up, the more that negativity took over.
Do you feel like you weren't hitting like, okay, I feel like I nailed white, but I haven't broke through on the Asian side yet?
It was so much Reddit stuff that was like, okay, Asian guys, I know what that resentment feels like, that anger. Let me use it for good.
Yeah.
But this is actually after I got sober.
Okay.
During when I got sober, I said, fuck them. Well, who cares? You know what I mean? Like while I'm drinking, you know?
Yeah.
That was my outlet. That was my outlet. And I had no other outlet. Therapy really wasn't working because, I mean, for instance, there needs to be more male therapists to begin with. I got paired up with male therapists, but I needed an Asian male therapist who could understand and like actually tell me like, hey, historically, this is what happens.
Right.
But you don't have to be that way. Like things are changing. Look at the role models that we have. Like he needs to be a little bit of a historian too, but it's like, I didn't know we had all these Asian role models.
Checklist, yeah. No, but I completely agree with that. This past year was the first time I found a Black therapist. Because I was like, I actually just need to not feel in the moment when I'm telling somebody what has happened that I'm holding back because I don't want to offend a white person who is my therapist when I'm talking about something I experienced. Like, why am I dieting down a session about me because of somebody else? And I don't want to hurt their feelings. Like, okay, but my feelings are hurt. So I need to take care of that.
My other white friends, they were gay too. So they understood what it was like to be different.
Right.
Which was like a really good thing. They were my therapy. They were the worst dating coaches I could ever have, actually. That's why I was single for so long. But yeah, so it was very conflicting because it was like, let me play on this side for being Asian for a while. Let me play on this side being white, American. It's like, are you Korean American? Or are you American Korean? Or are you just American? Why can't you just be American?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, because there's so many parameters to being American, and I don't fit one big parameter, which is color. It's a huge one.
Yeah.
I just seesawed in between. So it was very confusing. I personally, nowadays, like, I consider myself more American than Korean. And a lot of my Asian community will hate me for that. They're like, you should really be proud of. And I'm like, but, you know, I hate to sound like this. If you're not that proud of me too, why should I be proud to be
use
Korean?
Me when it works for you.
You know,
but
like,
yeah.
I so desperately wanted to be Korean and accepted. I even went to Korea at one point. Tried to like see if I could be in the entertainment industry. Maybe I could have a new life, blah, blah, blah. There was just so much rejection. You got to change your eyes, your face, your body.
They thought you were like too Western.
I was too
just
everything.
You're an American.
You're not.
Yeah.
You're too old. By the way, I was only like 25. You know,
Rude.
Yeah, it was like you're too old. Blah, blah. I was like all these things I couldn't really change.
Yeah.
So I just felt rejected so much, and then even in Korean Hollywood, it's like very interesting. It's like, they like being around me, but like there's not much work. Like no one's working with each other as Koreans, in Hollywood.
They're here.
In Hollywood, like, and my peers, because you're not Korean enough then. So I'm like, okay, well, if I'm not Korean enough, like, let me just go back to where I was, which is I'm just fucking American.
It's so hard. It's like ping ponging back and forth. And I'm like, I understand that ping pong because I never felt like I fit in with this group. But then when I got the chance to be with the other side, they weren't very welcoming to me either and pointed out every super white thing about me.
Yeah.
But I was like, so where was this middle ground? Because I know I'm not the only person sitting in this middle ground. I wish I would have found more people in that middle ground to find myself at a sooner time and to have that like relationship. Because I don't know if I was really looking, like, I think I had it. I think I had on both sides at least a person who I felt very accepted by, but there wasn't and like somebody accepting you and hearing you feels really different than someone that's like, I see you. Like I've experienced it. I see you.
It's weird. It's like, I know a lot of Asians want to just be accepted by white people.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, well, I was already ahead.
Yeah.
All the best people I've ever worked with to this day that have been pivotal in my career. The only people who have truly believed in my work so far have been white people. Like, to be real, like that is just tough. A flat out statement. I've tried. I went to the Asian community first. I still do, by the way, but it's like, I'm giving them the opportunity first. And it's like, it's always just the white people always supporting me. So it's like, that's why I say it's like, I am going back to just like, hey, I'm American. I'm Korean blood. If you want me to be Korean, sure, I'll do it now. Just because it's like, I want to work with people like Asians and Koreans.
Yep.
But I also feel like I have this unique bridge now because Asians don't know what sobriety is. Asians most in general don't know what recovery is. They have saving face and not wanting, like, just hold on to your drinking, you'll be better at it. It's like, no, like, you don't know the beauty of sobriety.
Yeah.
I talk about like even entertainment and confidence and faith and stuff, and they don't understand that. And I'm like, I can bridge that, but like, there's still a little bit of, it's still a little behind. Even health and wellness. Like, I was talking about health and wellness a long time, like building up your body, like all these things. And Asians didn't care. They would laugh and be like, oh, you're Western, you're letting the Western people. And now everybody's into it, right?
Yeah.
If I would have just stayed my path, not listened to Asians so much, actually, just listen to my own voice, which I know Asians will say, well, the white person's voice, but I'm like, hey, it's doing me.
It's just the voice you have.
It was just my voice.
Yeah.
And I was raised by white people, and I didn't really think about like, am I Korean enough until I started to hang out with Koreans.
Yeah, because it's the same on the other side. I was worried about being okay in this circle of white people, and it didn't change until I got around the other circle.
And the only thing that I could do just as well as any Korean or better was drink. Literally.
So when did drinking like present itself in your life?
Oh man, I was really young. I was probably only like 10.
Oh, okay.
But that was my first drink.
Yeah.
It didn't continue then.
Right. I think my dad gave me like a sip of Budweiser when I was like 5 or 6 or something because I kept on grabbing at the can. I know. I thought it was gross. But then, so like when then again, it was 14 is when I like started. But how was that for you? So 10 was the first one, but you didn't like kick off at 10.
Did not kick off at 10. I probably kicked off around 14. And
14's that age.
Yeah, it really, really kicked off for me where I was like, wow, this is like that spiritual experience I was looking for.
What was the feeling for you?
It was just like I wasn't Asian anymore. You know, like for the first time ever, those voices just shut off.
Yeah.
I wasn't even mad about anything. You know, at one point I thought this is after smoking a joint and having some vodka. I was like, I know how the universe came to be. I forgot.
15.
Yeah. I forgot the next morning. It was really awesome.
Write this stuff down. Because the next year, like, I'm pretty sure I had a completely new experience and I figured out life.
I knew it.
Damn it.
I knew it. And if I could just have my friend who was high with me remember too.
Bud, you remember? Yeah.
We both forgot the next day, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We would be on science and whatever front covers. But that was when it really took off. But that's when I realized like, oh, this was my tool. This was my vehicle to get to the group, to belong.
Yeah.
To like not be seen as like.
Kind of stops the questioning. It's like the thing.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about this if I do this because then it kind of just like fixes all of that.
Totally. And so like I started to build groups around that were like all about drinking and
you want to be able to hit someone up on a weeknight and go do the thing because we don't like sitting with our own thoughts sometimes.
Too much, you know?
Yeah. And did it continue with drinking like through high school?
Oh, high school and college were definitely the peaks, right? Because it was like,
what else is
parents' money, like not my money and other kids' parents' money paying for all of this. And high school was just like, that's when it really started to take a downturn. I could tell my senior year because like my athletic ability was always growing every year.
Yeah.
And senior year was like actually when it all started to crumble. Like, I blew my arm out, but also too, I was getting high the night before, had a few drinks, I wasn't well rested. It's like, oh, well, it finally caught up to me.
Yeah.
I was very sluggish. I wasn't able to run. And it's just like, I guess sports wasn't really it for me, And then college came around. And
you're like, I guess the sports just quit on me.
Yeah, but it's crazy.
I don't know what it is. Yeah.
The best athletes don't do that crap.
Yeah.
Especially during the season.
Yeah.
And so it really made me realize like, wow, this power of just wanting to belong is really insidious because it was like, it took over a dream of mine, which was
something you were really good at. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, it even took over like my acting career. I remember going to New York and it's like audition or go out drinking, like, like maybe I should just go out drinking, but a normal person would be like, hey, why don't you go out and celebrate? I graduated acting school and I had an audition the next day. I was like, hey, why don't you go out with your acting school and just not drink or just have a couple drinks like a normal person? Like that wasn't in my thought. It was just like either get wasted or hammered or don't at all.
Party. Yes.
And I was like, I can't give this up. I gotta go. And then I went into audition. It was such a flop. It was ridiculous. Like, and by the way, people know it more than me at the time. It's like
people can see it. You think you're holding it together. Yeah. We all think we're holding it together.
I'm like
really
wondering
good.
When I'm not working so much at the time. It's like, man, it's like I look at it and like alcohol definitely stripped away a lot of my dreams early on, I'm not saying I was going to get the roles, but it's like.
No, but it's it's just like that is unfortunate,
Yeah.
So then you went to acting school? You moved to New York or did you?
So I was personal training for a little bit for about 3-4 years. And
you're a personal trainer?
Yeah.
In
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It was just a great way to like provide for like my drinking habits for sure. Like
and you're social. Yeah. And you like working out. So it's kind of like the perfect thing.
It was really good for me at the time, but it was like what I really didn't like about personal training was there was only so many ways I could tell people how to lift heavier weights, don't eat as much and sleep well.
That is interesting. You are guiding people to a healthier version of themselves.
And
means twile.
Right. I was not doing it.
Yeah. But I don't think that's uncommon. I think in a lot of different aspects, that's like a mother who's literally crawling, but everybody else, the house is perfect. The kids are taken care of. Everything's doing it because like it's the thing. I like the external thing where I can look like I'm keeping it together. It's all together. We can take care of stuff. I like making other people happy and making sure you're set up. But me on the inside crumbling, like it's just not working.
Well, it's like they say, it's like, who's the best relationship coach? Oh, it's the person who got divorced 5 times.
Yeah, I know that person.
It's like
I don't know.
who's the best health person, or it's the person who likes to party and like really knows all the cheat codes on like how to like get in shape and still look good while you're partying. You know, like they're actually probably the best coaches actually.
Yeah.
But do what they say and don't
not
do what they
do. Yeah.
You know?
Like when I tell you what to do, I'm not doing it, but you should definitely do it. Were there any warning signs early that alcohol is becoming more than like a normal problem? Like when you're describing just the last like high school, college, physical training, is there anyone in your life that's like, you party a little too much?
Oh yeah. I mean, it wasn't my friends at the time. It was my dad.
Really?
Yeah. My dad was actually a really good influence in my life. He had so many great things to say to me actually at the time. He had 3 that I still remember to this day. One is he took a photo of me when I was drinking. It was my 22nd or 23rd birthday. And I was loaded.
Really?
I mean, this is when cameras were just starting to become a thing. And he's like, I'm not going to tell anybody about this, but
he didn't upload it on his MySpace the next day.
I looked awful. And I was like, wow, that's embarrassing. And he's like, I think you got a problem. Like he was basically, he didn't say
I want you to see this. Yeah.
I want you to see what you look like.
Yeah.
While you were.
That's a loving move.
Yeah. And he's like, you know who cleaned this shit that you brought in yesterday? I like literally stepped in dog shit and like brought it into the whole house. He's like, your girlfriend at the time. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that. You know, and he's like, and you were also mean to her. You know, I was like, oh. So it's like all this guilt, right? Like building up. And that was the first sign of alcoholism that I was like, oh, maybe this is something. Like there were other warning signs too, but I took it as like, I can still control this because I'm young enough.
It's a one-off. Like I won't do that again. Yeah.
Right? But there were so many. It was like, I had a great chance for this men's health fitness shoot. They were like, hey, if you do really well, like we're going to put your abs on the front cover. Well, I drank so much, I didn't have any abs, right? Like
no 6-pack unless you want this one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I had so many chances. This is why like my fiance now says, yeah, Devon says, she's like, God loves you because he gives you so many chances and so many things. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, like I don't deserve a lot of these things. I made wrong choices, but I still get such a gift from being sober. And I think that's one of the beauties is that like when I was drinking, I still got chances, but I lost it.
Yeah.
And now that I'm sober, it's like, okay, if I really don't capitalize on things, this is me.
You're like, I've been there. I've done this. I know what the wrong choice here looks like. I'm not doing that again.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You know, I made wrong choices now, but they're not like life and death.
Right.
It's
and you're making
like,
them with a clear head.
More of a clear head. And if it's not, it's higher stakes. So there's a little bit more going on. It's like, but there was a lot of things that were just clear signs like this is probably enough.
How were your relationships while you were drinking?
Personal, romantic,
like friendships, romantic relationships.
I mean, my friendships were pretty basic of like, as long as you drink with me, we're good. That was
very like surface level. Yeah. I'm going to text you for happy hours and going out on the weekend. Yeah.
I mean, I remember some days we would start at like 11. We wouldn't stop drinking till Monday, you know, and it was a Friday.
There's a game day. We got to go.
Right. Exactly.
Rally.
Like, very normal at the time. But then, you know, my romantic relationships often crumbled because a lot of my friends didn't see who I was when I went home.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where it got really tricky because they'd be like, hey, you were really fine up until 1 a.m. I was like, yeah, but you didn't have to come home with me.
Yeah.
My girlfriend saw how much of a waste I was, you know? I mean, so many drunks can probably relate to this where it's like you go home and you're like, you're just like eating all the chips and you're like frantic and stuff. And it's just like, yeah, but in that time period is where the damage is done if you're around other people. And so like they didn't see me in that and they thought I was okay.
Yeah, which is really hard because that person that loves you also has to navigate like, is this something we just keep between us and we try and work on, or the people that already know?
Yeah.
Am I able to reach out for help? What does that look like for you if I do that? Because these are our friends.
Yeah. Or sometimes I'd be with a girl just to like have some companionship while I went through like
Yes, because it's hard being alone.
detoxing or like bodybuilding shows. And it was like, yeah, it was really tough. So it was like, oh, man, I definitely was not the best partner at the time. And like, by the way, this is why I say like maybe even today, like I think most men shouldn't even really be in like a serious relationship until their 30s.
Okay, producer, director, I'm going to need you to play that 5 times in a row when we air this. No.
I don't think they should not date because they got to learn.
I agree. I get what you're saying because I tell people I have 2 kids and I'm like, wait till you're at least 30. Nice. I had one at 24 and 34. Wait until you're at least 30. I just think there's a whole lot of growing in things. Get the stuff out of your system, not like horrible stuff, but like there's just a lot to learn about yourself and about how to treat other people and while caring for yourself. Not in a selfish way, but in like an adult way.
Yeah. And I'd say that's good advice for people that live in cities. I think if you don't live in cities, it's a little bit different. Like what I mean by that is like, you know, when you're in the middle of America, it's like there's only like Susie,
that's why we have cuffing season
and Kristen to date, right? It's like, oh, you know who you're going to be with, right? It's like they don't have as many choices, and they know their trajectory. But I think when you live in a city, it's really tough.
There's so many options available.
You got to get to know yourself better. There's higher stakes. It's like you guys want bigger dreams. Like I think it's time for you to grow more in your 20s. 30s, sure. Like start really thinking about it.
Yeah. I definitely felt that with some friends I had in bigger cities. So I'm like, I'm 23 and they're like, I'm 23. It's like, you wear a suit every day. I'm like, I'm not there yet. I just don't feel that way. I felt like a kid. It felt like they were in just more of like they just knew where they were going.
Especially alcoholics. I mean, like literally they call it Peter Pan syndrome for a reason.
1920 out at the bars and someone at that age would be like, oh, you're 34 and you're still out here like doing this thing. Now I'm 34. I'm like, shut up, younger Brittany. That wasn't old, but yes, you shouldn't be doing this anymore. Yeah, it's really tough. So it sounds like it just keeps on going. Like there's not anything that's filling that thing for you either.
No, it really hit me around when I was about to turn 30 and I was like, wow, I don't really have much to show for. And I'm about to get into the best years of my life. Yeah. And so I was like, I knew I was going to stop drinking as much and and by the way, it started to work a little bit, just not drinking, you know, for a little bit.
Did you choose to not drink or were you like, I think I just need to change like my lifestyle? And that kind of happened with it.
I just knew I needed to stop drinking.
Yeah.
Like, because there was a pattern. I was like, every time I start drinking, my life crumbles, right?
This happened. There's alcohol there.
Make alcohol bad decisions and everything. So I was like, but the problem that I had was I was such a miserable person. So if I was so miserable when I wasn't drinking, I was like, I don't know if I can continue this. Right. So I'd always go back to it for a little bit.
Yeah.
But then I'd be so miserable when I was drinking because I was like, I can't drink the way I want to anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, it started to go back and forth a lot. So I was like, you know, let me just stop this for a little bit. I met Devon at the time and I got my life back together. You know, I was in $20,000+ of credit card debt. Oof, I had like $500 in my bank account in my name. That's all I had. I was negative a lot of money on paper, value wise. Just living on the couch or this really weird place that my cousin hooked me up with in Fishtown. You know, it was weird just because I didn't know the people. Actually, they were very lovely people. Yeah. But it was like,
what am I doing here?
It was, I was like, I'm like 30 years old and I'm living with my cousin's friends. Like, this is not cool, you know? After my dad kicked me out of his home, you know?
Why'd he kick you out?
He just said, I can't enable you anymore.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, another loving thing my dad's done. And I didn't hate him for it, actually.
Yeah.
The other thing that I hated him for, he told me, you know, when I was 29, I was like, I want to be a life coach. And he's like, Kevin, you need to have a life.
What?
So I was like, I hate you for that.
He with that one.
He was
you
so
gotta have a life to be a life
right.
coach.
He was so right. Second best thing he's ever said to me. Third was I need to start social media because I was against social media up until I was 30. So
really?
Yeah, I was so against social media.
Even with like trying to get in the business stuff?
Yeah, because I'm an actor.
Yeah.
Like, in acting school, we're taught to actually be against social media because you don't want to be a hack.
Or like it's easier for people to put you in a role where they already don't think you embody this certain thing. Right. Or when people see too much of you, they're like, but he's Kevin. He's this. He can't be this like character that does something else. Yeah.
Like, obviously,
big switch now.
A lot's changed since then. But like, yeah, I was totally against it. And so my dad totally led me into recovery just because he didn't, enable me.
Yeah.
And then I got roommates that were in recovery.
Oh,
and
cool.
so I was like, whoa, wow, like that's cool. So I went to my first
curate a little peer recovery group for yourself.
My first meeting.
Yeah.
And that was awesome.
Your first AA meeting?
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
It was Thanksgiving.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
cool.
It was Thanksgiving.
Where was it?
Awesome.
What city?
It was in Philly.
Philly? Okay.
So it was awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is great. I could do this.
Mm-hmm.
And just to let you know, not every meeting's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you got a good one.
Yeah, I had a good one. Saw my aunt there. That was really great.
Did you know you were going to see your aunt there?
No. I mean, her ex at the time was in recovery too. So she went and whatnot. And then I saw some other people I didn't know,
Interesting.
We're in recovery.
Were people in your family open about anything that they may have been dealing with? Or is your family like mine and we like to keep stuff inside?
We're not against it. My mom is probably the only person that's like, tell me everything.
Yeah.
And by the way, that kind of led me to like just tell people everything. It's like I overshare, She'll still tell me to this day. It's like it went the opposite way from you and my brother.
Yeah, really?
She's like, you went oversharing.
Yeah.
Your brother went to not sharing at all.
Yeah.
So, but this kind of shows you, it's like, her intentions are good, but the result was not what she wanted.
Yeah. Their intentions are always good. I feel like for the most part, our parents wanted to do the best and make the best decision at the time. The advice they gave us, they were trying to say the right things and just like.
So I like literally get to date this girl, Devon, that I've known for 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
We knew each other in New York. And Devon was like, we saw each other after I got out of all that credit card debt. She saw my journey. She started talking to me. And it was like, wow, it was like love at first sight again.
Really?
So then we started talking. She's like, hey, next time you're up in town, New York, let's have dinner. She made the first move.
Yeah.
So then I followed up and we started to actually, like, I knew, like, when I first saw her, I was like, oh my gosh, like, can't believe I had all these negative thoughts. Like, she's the one.
Yeah.
She's sweet. She's powerful. She's like beautiful. Like, she's smart. She's articulate. Like, all the stuff that I've always wanted in a girl.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is it. And then all of a sudden, oh yeah, maybe we should have some wine together. And then that's when it started to like go downhill, our relationship.
Really?
Because then all of the bad things started to come up late night and whatnot.
Wait, so had you quit drinking prior?
Yeah, I wasn't drinking for 3 months before I saw her.
Okay.
So like I said, my life got better, started to go back down.
You went to some meetings, got comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. Went to some meetings.
Have you been to like a...
but I wasn't like acknowledging I had a problem because like I only went to one meeting. That's what it was.
Okay, gotcha.
Went to one meeting, had a bunch of friends that were in AA, and like that was really it.
So it's a thing. You're like, I want what I'm seeing here, and I know I need to do this. You're taking steps.
Yep.
You're like soft launching yourself into sobriety.
It really was.
Yeah.
So I saw what was going on, and I was like, oh wow, like people say this a lot. They're like, once you get a head full of AA, like you can't drink the same. And it's absolutely true because I tried with Devon. It ruined our relationship so much. Then finally, I had this experience on December 13th at an Eagles game, celebrating with my dad. It was his birthday. And I'll never be invited to an Eagles game again with him because he said, you were so miserable. It was the night after I was drinking. I was like, I think I'm just done. And I just remember just this experience of like this lightness and like hope of like, oh no, I'm an alcoholic. I'm never going to drink again. And I remember calling the guy who introduced me to AA, and I was like, I'm never going to drink again. He's like, that's good. Come to the meetings. So I started going to meetings consistently. Mm-hmm. What ends up happening is that I was trying to recover and also be in a relationship at the same time. And that's a new relationship.
Yeah.
And that's a very heavy order for an alcoholic in the beginning.
Yeah.
And we're not married. So it was really given from advice from my sponsor, like, hey, let her go for a little bit so you can get better.
Oh.
I didn't do it. Not knowing how to manage my emotions, because I truly believe like recovery, AA, anything is about emotional regulation.
Yeah.
Right. And I didn't know how to do that at all. And so we went off on each other and we broke up, and it was weird. It was off of a misunderstanding of, long story short, she was getting kicked out of her apartment because the landlord was doing some shady things. So he wanted to get rid of her. She had nowhere to go. I didn't like this guy that, she was newly friends with. Thought it was a little weird. So she told me she was staying over her girlfriend's place from this guy that I didn't really trust or anything. Yeah. And then I took it as, oh, you're staying over that guy's place.
She's like, I'm going there.
But she's like, no, I'm staying over my girlfriend's place. Yeah. He just so happens to live there, and I'm being transparent, telling you this is his place. We broke up over that. But years later when we reconnected, she's like, no, I told you. He wasn't even there when I was staying there. It's just his place, and I was staying with my girlfriend. And I was like, holy cow, all that over a misunderstanding. She's like, yeah, you were really knee deep in your alcoholism. And so I thought it was so weird because it's the fog hasn't been lifted yet, from recovery. And so it's kind of crazy how we broke up off of that weird misunderstanding.
Oh my gosh, that's so tough. Was that the first time you had called yourself an alcoholic?
Yes. Oh, I refuse to call myself an alcoholic, for a couple reasons. One, it's because I'm Asian. Alcoholism doesn't exist. And then two, it's I'm so good at it, or was, But then I realized I'm kind of like the high school football quarterback that never made it, saying I was really good, but I wasn't, and I stopped getting better because it was hey, I never moved on to college.
Yeah.
Wasn't really that great, anymore.
Yeah.
I was probably good then, but I'm not great now.
Right. And shit kicked off for too long. Yeah. It's the feeling, when you had said the feeling I got when I was drinking, I just felt awful afterwards. It didn't feel good. I'm kind of sabotaging relationships. It's in the beginning, we feel it fixes all those things, and it doesn't.
It does in my mind. But at the same time, it's I'm still jealous of those who can still drink, get loaded, and have great relationships. But that is not me. For some reason, there was something inherently just empty inside of me that I needed to fill.
This podcast is brought to you by Recovery.com. Recovery.com is a place where anyone can find mental health or addiction treatment options specific to them. You can filter by location, price, insurance coverage, therapy type, mental health condition, levels of care, and so much more. Recovery.com is the best place to find mental health or addiction treatment for anyone, anywhere.
Well, I was going to say, finishing up that story of, so Devon really got me launched into recovery, into AA without her knowing, because I was I would just want to become a better person.
Yeah.
What was really fascinating about that is they always say, don't go in it for someone else, do it for yourself. Well, I really found out I really was doing it for myself, because after we broke up, I stayed sober the whole time.
Wow.
So it was because of a relationship. And at the end of the day, I realized it was really for me.
We do the things we struggle because we lack that self-worth a lot of times. So it's so hard to walk into a place and be like, I'm doing this for me. Yeah. Trust me, it was never me that got my self-help. It was I need to do something so my kids can have a present mother.
Right.
Or just someone who's not crying all the time.
But I'm glad it wasn't for me, because I didn't like me at the time.
Yeah.
So it's
it's do something for yourself. I want to kick myself right now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do for myself. I want to drink
myself right now to sleep. Why would I do this for me? Mm-hmm. I would do it for her.
Yeah.
She's actually a worthy person.
Yeah. I want to be better to do this for other people. And then it's oh no, regardless of whatever external thing is there, I'm going to continue to do this thing because I just love how I am now.
So I actually don't mind it when somebody does it first, because I'm you probably self-loathe just like I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do it for somebody else first.
Whatever gets you there.
But then eventually you got to do it for yourself.
Yeah. Again, if something ever happens with that thing, the external thing that you're doing it for, that's not yourself, what do you have to lean back on? Right. Yeah. It has to develop into you at some point. Did you seek out any recovery programs outside of AA? Did you go outpatient?
Of course, but it wasn't, I wouldn't call it recovery programs. It was more self-help programs. Yeah. It was forums and the Tony Robbins events, but he doesn't have an event for alcoholics, his events are for people that want.
More an uplift you to motivate you, but you didn't go to someone's here's some tools to help cope with.
No. I mean, the closest was maybe psychedelics, but I was a little scared to start dabbling into that.
Yeah.
Because I was oh, that seems a little
Right.
sounds cool, but I'm like,
Mhm.
it seems a little unsafe. And so
I
that
get-
was the
yeah.
only thing that maybe I would have. I mean, I do remember reading a book about Steve Jobs, and he went to India and did a lot of LSD underneath like
Dang.
shamans and Indian
Okay.
shamans. And I was like, that sounds good.
Good for Steve.
I was like, let me do that.
Yeah.
But
Steve.
thank God I couldn't afford it.
You know?
So,
Yeah, I know what you mean though. I'm like, I've seen, I've learned and stuff. I'm like, that's great. I love that has helped people. I think I am too afraid. So I learned about your recovery in season 1 of Bling Empire. I think it was season 1.
season 2.
Season
actually.
2. Okay,
Yeah,
is that
we
where you
weren't
had
really
your
allowed to talk about it season 1 yet.
Okay, so then I guess I ended up rewatching season 2 last month.
Yeah.
So it was, you had celebrated, I'm trying to think of the 6 years of sobriety. Yeah. And your sponsor was in there as well. Yeah. I thought that was so cool because it kind of randomly showed up in the show. And then it just went on. And the more learning about it and the support you got, I thought it was great. I thought it was amazing to show that side, not just be like, I'm in recovery and I'm doing what I can. Like, showing people what it's really like was amazing.
I wanted to do that the first season.
Yeah.
The problem was there was nobody in the production team that was sober that could really
Understood
tell the
why it
story
was important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And then ironically, then the second season, we had some producers who were sober and they're like,
That's
no.
awesome.
They convinced the showrunner and the team that like, hey, this is an actual real important message and topic. So I felt very privileged to be able to like actually share that on such a big platform.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like, that's why season 1's very different than season 2 and 3. Well, for many reasons, but it's like, that was a huge thing. People really got to know that recovery side.
Yeah.
But we leaned into it more because we couldn't go into my adoption side much because of the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
We couldn't film in Korea to go search for my birth parents.
Yeah, because season 1 filmed before the pandemic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Season 2.
But it didn't come out until 21.
21 in the middle of it.
Yeah. So you filmed in like 2019 and then you have to hold because it's like COVID. How are you supposed to display all these people doing the things and stuff, especially follow season 2?
Yeah. So it's 2021, there were still lockdowns. Korea had a mandate of 2 weeks lockdown if you want to go to Korea. And they're like, you can't do that for production reasons.
Oh. So what was that like stepping into the public eye and being on a show like Bling Empire? And where were you like at in your sobriety journey? So you would have been at like 5 years or 4 or 5 years when you started it?
6 years sober, 6.5, almost 7 when Bling Empire happened. Thank God I was sober.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like as sober as I could have been because it was in the middle of the pandemic. Like there's only Zoom
There's a lot
meetings.
of challenging things happening.
Yeah, there's only Zoom meetings. You weren't into the real world yet. You weren't integrated into the real world. And so like, I think if I would have had it now, it'd be very different. I probably would have gone about it way more soberly. Like I definitely know that even with my sobriety and thinking I have a good head on my shoulders, like I got really scattered. I mean, like I was like really knee deep into Buddhism, which I'm not anymore. I was knee deep into Chinese astrology, which I'm not anymore. And by the way, all that stuff is like told in, biblical. It's like, don't get into that. It's going to cause more confusion. And it did. So I was confused by the fame. Like I was confused about where I'm supposed to be doing with my life. Who are the right people? I had no discernment of like who's trying to use me or who's trying to like actually help me, who's the right person. So all this stuff came my way. And by the way, I just spent like a year and a half alone in a room. It's like the lockdown was a real thing. Yeah. I'm telling you, when we first started filming, we all looked like we were still in pandemic mode.
Really?
I mean, a lot of the footage wasn't used. Because it's like we had to restart at one point, but it's like, I'm glad we did because like we got an extra like 4 months to like
just get your head back in life for a little bit.
None of us traveled. None of us have dealt with people yet. Like it was really bizarre time and it's
very much a show that is not portraying that there's any semblance of like COVID. It's opulence. It is.
They didn't want to.
Yeah.
So anything with face masks on, they were like, we want this world to be escapism for people. So they don't see COVID. Yeah. This is an escape from COVID. We don't want to remind people about it. Yeah. So I had a really hard time dealing with a lot of stuff, the fallout of some friendships that were real, me making bad decisions about the friendships, because like, look, I'll admit I played a part in it. It's like, I didn't do my best in my friendships, a lot of them fell apart. Some friend relationships grew that weren't supposed to. They're no longer with me anymore, a lot of the friendships. So it's like, it was really hard.
Yeah, I hope you give yourself grace for that, though, because that is a huge thing to step into, especially just in general, but especially after COVID. And to have a show like that launch on Netflix and go as well as it did and be as huge as it was. But then I can't imagine the opportunities, the new people coming your way, the new situations, trying to navigate that all at once and trying to make the best decision for everything just is never going to happen.
I mean, I didn't give myself much grace. I mean, I was just like any good alcoholic. We're really hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
So I was so hard on myself. I still am.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
Still see regrets of like, oh, if I was more in a sober mindset, I would have done things differently.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, this is the one thing I say is like, I knew I did the best with the decisions and where I was at the time. I just gained this much more wisdom in such a short period of time. And so like, I don't think it was wasted. It was just more like, wow, that was the biggest challenge. Like my showrunners and Netflix was really nice. Like they even tried to prep us for it. Like, hey, if this hits, we're just going to give you some crash courses on like how to deal with this.
That's nice because I've never heard of that happening.
But the thing is though, there's nothing that can prepare you for it.
Really? From
all of a sudden, like being anonymous to all of a sudden just walking down the street with a face mask on and a hat and sunglasses and people can still recognize you. What? It was wild.
I will never, but like I can imagine that's crazy.
But no, it was really bizarre. And I was like, oh crap, people might know where I live. I'm like right outside my house. Like all of a sudden it's like things like that are just very bizarre. But then also too, what ends up happening without solid recovery program that I didn't have because I wasn't going to my in-person meetings. I haven't seen my sponsor for a while. Like, you just kind of just live through life like you're living at home. All of a sudden the ego gets really big. You're like, wow, I'm on top of the world, right? Let me have a little bit of fun and
kind of untouchable right now.
Right. Or just like, hey, I can meet anybody I want, hang out with anybody. So you start doing it and you're like, the distractions start building up. And so and then you start eating all the food that you never had because everybody wants to treat you. And like all of a sudden I went from this like literal starving artist to this plump guy that like is unrecognizable at some point. So I'm like, I just ate a lot. People just want to take me out all the time.
Take me to dinner.
I'm like, I don't know if this is going to last. So, I mean, it's like crazy. So it was really difficult to deal with because it's like just the overindulgence of things, the food, the opportunities, access, it was just like very wild. And like,
how did you keep yourself grounded during
I didn't a lot of times. I tried. I really tried. I mean, even my fiance tried, but she was like, to be real, the only thing that really got me back grounded was actually getting back to God. Like literally that was the only thing. Recently in the last, I'd say 8 months, like that's the only grounding thing. So, and I totally believe somebody needs to believe in a higher power, in God, something that they believe in.
There's stuff bigger. There is something bigger than us.
Yeah. Whatever that is, the creator, which I think we can all agree there's been some creator of all of this, right? Get back into that and like, you can definitely get through it with more grace. I definitely was disconnected at the time. So
one thing I learned is there's people on your cast that also didn't drink. Maybe not like we're sober, but just like, it's not that I don't, but I won't. That is so cool though, because as a viewer, that wasn't something I was even cognitive of because the pretty glasses have to have alcohol in that.
One person drinks. It was Kim. That was it.
Wow.
Christine drank with her once in a while. But it's like nobody else did.
I don't think it was ever like brought up. I just thought that was interesting because one thing I was like, wow, that's got to be really hard to do that, especially when everyone's partying, you're traveling, you're getting to do all these cool opportunities. Then I learned that people weren't drinking. I was like, that's actually awesome. How did that benefit you through that situation?
I don't think it did actually.
No?
Yeah, because I gave the producers and everybody just that one no-go. It's like, I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
You can't make me.
Hard stop.
Sure.
We can do a lot of silly stuff.
You can make me, you can make me look like I'm drinking.
Yeah.
I can act like I'm drunk, but I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
That wasn't hard at all because they really respected that from me.
That's awesome.
Like no questions, no ifs, ands, or buts or pressure. So it was very easy. But what was great was integrating it to have a broader message. So like even like having this, like it has a great message.
How has your understanding of yourself changed since you've been sober?
Recovery definitely has brought me to such a spiritual experience. Yeah. But it also brought me back to faith. I definitely played along the line of, oh, I'm a spiritual person. It's like, no, actually, I truly believe I'm a religious person now.
Yes.
Like, and that to me has been stronger than playing in between. And in that, knowing that, it's like, man, I don't just have character defects. I just have a ton of sin.
Yeah.
And by the way, like, I'm always needed to repent for it and forgive myself and forgive others.
Absolutely.
I think what I really learned about myself is that I have limits.
Yeah.
Like, for a while, especially for Bling, I thought I had no limits.
You were a no limit soldier. You're just like, oh.
But I'll tell you where my no limits was. It wasn't like I can go do this and that. It was more like I can help everybody.
Yep. Saying yes to everything without checking on yourself. And is your tank full? Do you even have this in you?
I was like, I have so much energy. I have so much to give. Let me just give it. I should have been putting it back into myself.
Yes.
But like, I realized like, no, I only have so much limits.
Yeah.
And even in recovery, the Bible says, take care of yourself first, but also too, like, actually, I don't think it says that in the Bible somewhere. What I was going to get to was, but help the right people. It doesn't say help everybody.
Yes.
It says help the right people. Like when somebody comes into the rooms of recovery and asks for a sponsor, I know that's the right person. They're asking for help. They're in the right room. I didn't have to force them here, you know, but what ended up happening with me with Bling is I wanted to help everybody. Hey, look, I'm now famous. I can help you.
Yeah, you see a need, you fill a need.
Well, it was like, I know your careers are struggling. Let me help you. I can connect you to any agent and manager. Blah, blah. I did it. Spend time. Hey, you need an event, me to appear. I'm going to go there because I know to elevate your event. And by the way, a lot of them are doing well now, you know, help them raise lots of money, but I didn't get anything back.
Yeah.
But I thought I was just supposed to do that.
Yeah.
But what I realize is when I go back to even the Bible says, help the right people. Don't delay on it though. I think what ends up happening, and this is what's happening in my Hollywood space, is we're forgetting, we're so woo-woo spiritual. We need to go back to God a lot more.
Very performative.
Yeah. And we need to really go back to God more. There's a lot of people in high positions that could help the right people, but they refuse to. You know, it's like, but it's only for their benefit.
Yeah.
It's like, you should help the right people to help the right people, because that's passing it.
You can be successful while doing good and putting good out there and helping people.
And there's a lot of access and there's a lot of power in Asian Hollywood, and I don't see it being used. I only see it being like they're going to give themselves high salaries and just do fun things, but they're not really helping the right people. And it's just like very sad to see, because like at one point, like I really just was like very naive. And it also says in Proverbs not to be naive, but I was like, I could help everybody. So that's what I mean by saying like what I learned about myself was I was very naive. No wonder I got taken advantage of. But I also too was trying to help everybody, but it doesn't say to help everybody. It says help the right people. So like I learned a lot in that, and I was like, okay, I have limits and I only want to help the right people now. So that's another reason why I've like kind of like held back and like not gone so publicly out to so many things anymore. Because I realized, no, a lot of these people aren't the right people. The right person is, if that same person came into this room right now and said, I saw your podcast, I want to get help in recovery. That's the right person.
Someone seeking help.
Yes.
Someone who's ready to take it. Our job is not to sit there and convince somebody that what is happening in their path isn't right for them.
Totally.
It's like your dad. Take a picture. Like, did you responded to the picture? You knew something needed to happen.
It planted the seed.
Yeah. Just helping the right people. I feel like we all overburden ourselves with that, especially it's just, I feel like that's probably in your nature. And I know as myself as a people pleaser, I say yes to things because I want to be that helpful person that people can rely on and go to. But at times I also have to be like, but take a step back because you have like nothing left in your tank.
And I have to also look at myself and realize, just make sure if I do give that I truly want to give. Yeah. Like I'm not looking for something back.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. What does your daily recovery practice look like now?
My daily recovery practice really goes with a good night's sleep first.
Yes.
Like it really does. I think that's so undervalued in recovery that I think if you just get a good night's sleep, it can start helping with everything.
Yeah.
Because when you drink, when you do nicotine, all that stuff, coffee, even really late night, I'm not saying coffee late.
He's trying to get me to stop drinking coffee,
I'm just saying coffee in moderation and at the right timing is great.
Moderation, okay.
But I'm just saying, like, for me though, like when I have coffee late night, obviously people don't talk about it, but it disrupts everything.
Yeah.
It does so much bad. It's almost like
Keeps the brain.
yeah, it's almost like you're drinking again and like hungover. So it's like, or depression, you know, you could literally solve so much just with really good quality sleep, right? Starts with diet, nutrition, everything, sleeping habits. So that's where I start.
Yeah.
Then I go to a meeting. I try to go once a week in person. That's my home group.
That's
I
cool.
used to lead it. Yeah.
Oh, neat.
I used to lead it, but now it's not my turn anymore. But then I try to go to a Zoom meeting at least 3 or 4 times a week. I have been going back to church once in a while. I'm trying to do it more religiously now. I see a pastor for marriage counseling right now. I try to get in touch with my sponsor, even through text once a week at least.
That's
I have a sponsee. That's what I do. It doesn't take up as much time as it used to. I used to be an addict about it though.
Yeah.
It's like, let's go to 2 meetings a day. I'm going to spend an hour and a half doing all this stuff to like get myself grounded and better and mentally blah, blah,
the best drinker. No, I'm be the best at AA and recovery.
Like, I realized, well, that's addictive too.
Yeah.
Like,
You're just transferring addictions at that point. Yeah.
Right. So I was like, hey, you know, 1 meeting a week in person is great. Call my sponsor once in a while. It's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I don't need to be so obsessive. And it actually really helped when I tracked my time about this. I was like, holy cow, I'm spending 3 hours a day on this crap. I was like, I need to cut back.
Yeah.
So I stopped. I mean, I meditate still. I do a quick prayer, a couple readings, maybe hop on a meeting if I can, make sure my sleep's intact.
Those are good things to do day to day. Yeah. If you feel those anxious feelings coming up, if you're in like a depressive state, what is something you notice about yourself that you do to help yourself get out? And what's something you recognize? Because a lot of times we're like, oh shit, I'm down in that dark place.
Yeah.
There was 10 steps earlier.
Well, in the past, I am and still can be an emotional eater. So that's the last frontier for me to do, is to really manage my emotional eating. So that's when I know when I'm reaching for the bag of chocolate. Although I've been obsessed with getting great sleep lately, so it's been great not having
just like, I'm gonna go to sleep.
Well, because it's like, no, actually, it's like every time I have chocolate or candy, I'm like, I have horrible sleep. So I'm like, okay, so that's out of the bag. So eating good has been my obsession now, because sleep is so important. But like I've noticed I will just overindulge in so much food the moment I'm depressed or emotional. Or what I'll do is I'll be reactive. And then that's not helpful either.
Like short-tempered?
You know, and I realized that that's where I need a lot of God in my life, because I'm like, okay, this is not a good reflection of my sobriety. This is not me as a person of God. And it's like, it's a bad example.
That's me driving. On my way to work and home. That's the worst version of myself. That is Shadow Brittany coming out. She needs more Jesus in the car.
Definitely. And so that's why I'm like, I noticed that. So what I try to do now is maybe I'll just like mention it to my fiance now or something. I'll maybe write down what's wrong. Like, why am I really being bothered right now?
Like, what's really going on?
Yeah. And by the way, am I being really godly like right now?
Yeah.
You know, because that's, by the way, I don't want to be Kevin like. Because Kevin, like, I know people are all about, hey, be your best self, be yourself and be authentic. But I'm like, if my real authenticity came out, I'd be down in a ditch drinking.
Sometimes I'm an asshole.
Yeah,
like I need to tap into this like self that I might not always be, but I know that this is how I want to be. I
want to be the best self.
Yeah.
I want to be a better version of what I was, because that wasn't working for me. Yeah. So it's like, why would I be my authentic self? I want to be the best. Version of me.
And that can also be an authentic version. It's just a version that's had a lot of work done that knows what the other side can be like.
Yeah. I think a best version of me is like emotionally regulated.
Yes. Same. More even keeled, little things not setting me off. What larger cultural change do you hope to influence through your platform?
The cultural change is very, very specific of, I want Asians and Asian Americans and all of Asia to change their viewpoint on sobriety.
How so?
Asians don't believe in sobriety. You need to drink with other people. It's their life.
But do they believe in alcoholism?
They don't believe in alcoholism either.
Yeah.
So that's where it's like, they think it's just a Western thing and made up, but it's like, actually, no, it's destructive.
Oh, the Western side's like the indulgent side.
Exactly.
Got it.
So I think like my thing is like, I want to change that culturally. so we can actually start to communicate in a healthy way and do business.
Have the conversation.
And do business.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, look, I don't need to drink with you to do business. And it's like...
would someone find it offensive?
Oh, you can't do business with a lot of Asians if you don't drink with them. But that's what I mean. It's like, I like to see a cultural change because it's very detrimental to the young generation. So I hope cultural change can also see like this type of recovery isn't just about fluffy. It's very practical, very hands-on. It's very, yes, it has to do with getting back to God and a higher power. But it's like, I actually truly believe the world needs more of it. I mean, there's been studies saying that since religion's been down and people have not been believing in God, that there's been a lot more anxiety, a lot more chaos in the world, depression, all that stuff. And I just think it's a better world with it. So I hope that is what the cultural change is. We go back to our faith. Absolutely. And I say faiths because I'm not saying mine's the only one. Right. Just go back to faith.
Believing in something more important than yourself. So imagine there's someone out there struggling right now. What is something you want them to know?
I don't have to imagine it. There's so many people struggling out there.
Struggling right now.
There's so many people struggling right now. I've changed my viewpoint on this. I think they have to struggle. Like, I know it sounds really weird, but my struggle, I had to struggle to get to where I am because I don't know what the temperature or their height of struggle will be until they change, but I know eventually they'll change. So my thing is, if you're struggling and you're not changing, struggle more. Because you'll change.
Yeah, you're going to change at some point.
I can't tell you when that'll be. Mine wasn't homeless with a needle in my arm, thank God, or doing heroin. It wasn't that. But if you seriously want to change, accept the struggle, the feeling of it. Doesn't mean go out and purposely struggle.
Right.
I mean,
Kevin said I got to go. Yeah.
No, just accept the struggle.
Yeah.
And you might struggle more and be okay with that. But eventually you're going to hit that.
Yeah. Don't sit there in the struggle and woe is me. There's nothing I can't do about this. There's so much.
So much.
So much. I want to know a couple things or misconceptions about sobriety that you had.
Well, misconception of sobriety is smoking weed isn't sober. Other thing is people think you're going to lose your personality. I actually gained the personality. Yeah. My fiance now actually told me she didn't know I talk so much.
Really?
She's like, I thought you were quiet. And I thought I had to be the one talking all the time. It's like, you don't shut up.
She's like, this is a new person.
I was like, yeah, it's because I have so much to say now.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
So I gained a personality. 3, people want to be around you more. Yeah. People don't want to be around you less. So actually, and then 4, and this is very Asian to me. So this is for the Asians. You'll actually become wealthier. I'm not even talking about wealth as in like your family and that's great too, but you'll actually financially even be wealthier.
Be holistically wealthier, like just in every aspect of your life.
Clarity, everything, you'll be smarter, you'll be more grounded, everything. So there's so much about sobriety that there's so many benefits that people don't tap into. Yeah. Like, I think that is the number one longevity tool. Like, people are obsessed about longevity now.
And documentaries about it and everything.
And performance. Yeah. Well, sobriety gave that to me. Like, I thought I had no time to do anything before I was sober. Now I have so much time to do everything. Right. Because I'm sober. And also too with longevity, it's like, it's the number one longevity tool. Yeah.
Is there anything else that about recovery that you wanted to share that you think is important?
I want other people who are sober out there to not be shamed about it or to think,
shame is so big,
or think they have to stay anonymous. Like, my job as somebody in AA is to not break other people's anonymity. Yeah. But I choose to break my own so I can hopefully inspire somebody or share that, like, no, I mean, I live this crazy life. Like, I can still take my shirt off and jump in a pool and like go to a club and dance like crazy. Like, if I want to, being sober, like, you can do all of that.
Yes. I remember you talking about it's sober, sexy, and cool. Like, and I was like, oh, I love that. 'Cause I'm bringing back crazy, sexy, cool. Like, I want, like, we're mentally taken care of, but like, I want people to know, like, seeing a therapist, going to your doctor, taking care of your mental well-being is sexy and it's cool. Totally. Being sober, having a clear mind with things, it's sexy and it's cool. You don't have to be some like, 100%. You don't have to be sober. You don't have to be seeking mental clarity and wellness and then sit by yourself in a room for the rest of your life. Nope. Like, you've gained this whole nother level of yourself so you can share that with the world.
By the way, you can if you want.
You can.
If you want to sit in a room with a cat all day, I don't know, plenty of people who are happy about that. Do it. But it's like, you can do whatever makes you happy now.
Yeah. So what has recovery given you?
Recovery has given me second, third, fourth, fifth chances at everything in life, whether it's relationships, career, finance, marriage, hopefully soon,
Yay.
you know, well, I know soon, and family and friends. So it's given me all of that.
That's beautiful. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so honored to have you here. It's been a great conversation. Can you tell everybody your socials where they can find you and follow you?
Yeah. So I'm not that active on TikTok, but you can still find me there, but mostly Instagram, Threads, and I'm starting up more YouTube stuff. So it's Kevin.Kreider.
Nice. Wonderful. And thank you all for joining us. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.